There's no pastime that Clayton Smeltz of Mount Pleasant Mills enjoys more than baseball. When the weather permits, it's no surprise to find the Snyder County teenager playing catch with his father or younger brother. To see him catching and throwing, or really doing anything, is nothing short of a miracle when you consider what his mother Diane says he went through at age 9.
He started throwing up. I thought it was a stomach bug, so I didn't think a whole lot of it. That was a Thursday. Till Monday, he was still throwing up. I'm like, I think we better call the doctor.
It was January 2008. Clayton's doctor recommended some medication. Despite the symptoms easing, Clayton felt ill again several days later. Within a month, he started experiencing painful headaches and vision problems. Clayton saw a specialist at Geisinger for what appeared to be a gastrointestinal problem.
He ordered other x-rays and more blood work, and that all came back clear.
In March, symptoms worsened, including frequent vomiting and severe headaches. His family doctor ordered an MRI, which revealed the source of Clayton's illness, a brain tumor. For the family, a devastating blow.
So I went to my room and I just cried and cried.
Clayton's faith-based family decided to wait until the ride to Janet Wise Children's Hospital at Geisinger before breaking the news to him.
I was shocked. It somewhat made sense, but I couldn't really fathom why or what, how.
He said, "It's okay, Mom." He says, "If I die, I go see Jesus." He said, "It's okay." And I was just like, no, we're not going to talk that way. Yes, you'll go see Jesus, but I want to keep you for a while.
Pediatric neurosurgeon Dr. Darren Jacobs performed the surgery later that same week to remove the walnut-sized tumor.
The tumor was sizable enough that it was slightly stuck to some areas of the brain, but with very careful microsurgical technique, we were able to separate that tumor from those important parts of the brain to safely remove every portion of it that we could see.
Clayton's brain surgery took about 3 hours. A biopsy on the now removed tumor revealed a troubling finding: medulloblastoma. The tumor was cancerous. Another devastating blow for Clayton's family to deal with, including his father, Dale.
There are a couple of times when close workers, I talk with them, I break down and start crying.
Clayton's brother, Trent, just 7 at the time, feared for his only sibling.
What was going through my head was, is he gonna be okay? Is he gonna make it?
Pediatric oncologist Dr. Jagadish Ramdas was part of the medical team providing Clayton's care and uncovered some good news.
We did some scans and also spinal taps, and we found the good thing was there was no evidence of any tumor dissemination in his spinal cord or any evidence of any dissemination of this tumor.
Clayton remained in the hospital for 12 days as part of his brain surgery recovery. Pediatric oncology nurse practitioner Becky Snyder.
When you think about it, you're playing around with the brain, and what does your brain do? Well, it controls everything you do, speech and hearing, and your motor movements and your thinking process and all those things. So he did get some help from speech therapy and OT and PT here at the hospital.
Besides therapy, Clayton underwent a grueling treatment regimen.
So he went through almost about 10 months of chemotherapy, which was actually preceded by a 6 weeks of radiation therapy. So altogether, this whole treatment took almost about a year to finish.
During his stay at Janet Wise Children's Hospital, Clayton and his family realized some life-saving equipment was made possible thanks to funds raised through Children's Miracle Network.
Without the equipment that's there, we were fortunate.
I really liked that I could stay right there with him and tend to him all night long. And I'll be right there if he cried or whatever.
Clayton enjoyed his colorful room and other comforts.
It was vibrant and wasn't gloomy or anything, so that helped lighten the mood. You could go get games to play, so that made it a lot nicer.
But the ultimate game for Clayton is baseball. When he was first diagnosed, no one knew if he'd ever be able to play the sport he so dearly loves. Those doubts were removed 1 year later when he returned to the ball field for a youth game coached by his father.
Go, go, go! Hurry, hurry, hurry!
Some of the kids could see, he went through a struggle, but mentally he didn't lose a thing when it came to playing baseball. He had his physical challenge because of his left side being affected, but far as knowing what he needed to be doing. And that brought tears to my eyes.
He's had an absolutely miraculous and wonderful recovery, especially considering he went through such a big brain surgery and then went through such a long course of radiation and chemotherapy.
Now 15 years old, Clayton is cancer-free. The hope for a healthy life seems promising. The Smeltz family knows it wouldn't be possible without the specialized treatment he received at Janet Wise Children's Hospital at Geisinger.
To have a hospital, that's this advanced for pediatric, with the kids in this area is just a blessing.
A blessing that's made possible in part through your continued support of funds raised by the Children's Miracle Network program.
I feel that it's great that everybody's willing to donate with the economy the way it is and to help all the children that they can have that chance of life. Thank you for, first off, that's the main thing, because that helped save many lives before, and I'm here because of it. Probably quite a few others.
I will find your fire. I will hold you tight, and I won't let go. It hurts my heart to see you.
Just stop and it'll repeat. Scripture to start. Stand up before I finish. I want to reread it, but I'm going to read it this time out of the Living Bible. And then I'll explain a little bit why I chose Mark chapter 4, 35 to 41. Like I said, I'm going to read it out of the Living Bible this time. As evening fell, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took him just as he was and started out, leaving the crowds behind, though other boats followed. But soon a terrible storm arose. High waves began to break into the boat until it was nearly full of water and about to sink. Jesus was asleep at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. Frantically, they wakened him, shouting, "Teacher, don't you even care that we are all about to drown?" Then he rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Quiet down." The wind fell, and there was a great calm. And he asked them, "Why were you so fearful? Don't you even yet have confidence in me?" And they were filled with awe and said among themselves, "Who is this man that even the winds and the seas obey him?" Go ahead, sit down. Last week as I was traveling, when I go to Lancaster, I usually switch over to 94.5 WDAC. And if anyone's listened to that radio station, they know in the morning, from about 9 o'clock till lunchtime, there's a lot of different preachers preaching. And as I was going down last week, Dr. David Jeremiah came on, and he's doing a study right now in regards to fear. And this was the passage that he was speaking on that particular day. And as he was preaching it, I thought, that's good scripture for revival. Because we see Jesus is teaching to the multitude there by the Sea of Galilee. It's evening. And Jesus knows that if him and his disciples don't go to the other side, he's not going to get rest.